Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening to our beautiful guests from the US, and good morning to everyone else, wherever you are in the world. It is evening where our guest today is from. So we have the incredible Holly Hudspeth, all the way from Florida in the USA. Welcome, Holly. Welcome.
Thank you, Suzana. I'm glad to be here.
It's so great to have you here. It is so great to have you on the Bob Proctor Millionaire Roundtable. It's what, 11 o'clock in the evening there, is it?
It is 10:48. Yes, it's
wow.
nighttime.
Wow, thank you for staying up just for us. So I just want to introduce you. I am so excited about having you here today. So everybody, I met Holly Hudspeth, the incredible Holly Hudspeth, probably about a year ago, maybe just under a year ago, and I met her from this group. We were communicating. She was a member of the Bob Proctor Millionaire Roundtable, and now she has been working with me for almost a year, about 10 months, I'd say. So Holly is a multiple author. She is the author of the incredible book, Welcome Home, Evicting the Ghosts of Anxiety. I absolutely love that book. I had the privilege and honor to read Holly's manuscript, and I thought it was just going to be another self-help book. But this book just is so alluring. Once you start to open it up, it's just, it pulls you in. It's such a beautiful book. So that's Welcome Home, Evicting the Ghost of Anxiety. Holly is also the co-author of Moving On, The Art of Transition, and she's currently writing her third book with the doctor that works with Tony Robbins, I believe. So I can't wait to get my hands on that book when that's done. She is also studying her PhD at the Quantum University. So she's doing quantum natural medicine, and she's focusing on the brain. She's working on the Amen Clinic, which is a brain health clinic, and she is also working with some partners on starting the Quantum Healing Center. In addition to that, Holly is one incredible woman. She's a beautiful mother of 2 children, a partner, an incredible friend, and has got so many things going on in her life. I don't know when you ever sleep, Holly. Just incredible. And I'm so honored to have you with us here today. Welcome.
Thank you, Suzana. I'm so happy to be here. I was just thinking, I actually moved into this house a year ago, right around now.
Wow.
And if you would have told me a year ago that I would be doing this with you now a year later, I don't know if I would have believed you. So this is incredible. And I'm so excited to celebrate everything that's happened in my life. And really it's because I've been in your program.
Yeah.
And that is just the truth.
It has been an incredible year for you, and I've loved working with you. I actually, you know, that's right, because when I first spoke with you, because we got in touch from the Bob Proctor Millionaire Roundtable group, and when I first spoke with you, I think you were just in your home, which is by the water, and you were telling me about the neighborhood that you're living in. I think it was just a couple of months in after your move that we met. So so, and what is Florida like? Because you moved from, another part of the States. How has it been?
It's been incredible. It's been so relaxing. I love being by the water. It gives me so much creativity. And for me, the city, I moved from Nashville, Tennessee, which was really very high stress, a lot of people, a lot of activity. For my personal self and my spirit, that was a lot for me. So I moved to a little island. I actually live on a little island in Florida. It's only 10 miles long.
Wow.
And 1 mile wide. And I love it. It's a slower pace. I get to be really creative and be more in touch with who I was created to be. So it's been a fantastic move for me.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I remember, Holly, one of our first conversations when we first met through the group, and we just clicked. I was so attracted to your energy because you were a doer, girl, and you had a big purpose, and there were so many ideas and so many things that you wanted to do, and you had projects going everywhere. And but it was I remember the discussion we had. It was quite stressful because there was so much, and you were, you know, trying to organize what to do next, and you know, and to, you know, where that was, and to see a lot of that, you know, you're actually living, you know, your life, your dream in many ways now. You know,
I am.
about that. Tell us.
I created, you know, I let go of everything when I moved. My whole life, I just let go. And then I had this life that I wanted to create. I wanted to create my dream life. And you were absolutely phenomenal in working with me to get me to the point where that actually became a reality. And so it was a lot. Sometimes I wonder how you felt when you were doing our one-on-ones, and it had to have been really overwhelming. And you're so special. You're so good at intuitively being able to help people see what's the next step, and then to feel like using their gifts and talents to move into that next step. And it was just magical, really, working with you. When people ask me about your program and they ask me about your coaching, the word that I have for you is that you're just magical. There's something about you that is so inspiring to me and to so many other people. So yeah, you helped me break it down.
Wow.
And then, you know, really have the guts to be able to step over a lot of fear and go for it. And so that was huge for me. I have my dream life, and I created that, you know. And I had to destroy or let go or move past the person that I was in order to become this person. And I feel like that's something that we all have within us. And I don't believe that it's really something that you can do by yourself. I think it's something that the way we're created to work together.
Absolutely.
And so
That's
doing
right.
that with other people, doing it in a group, being able to celebrate, it's so special. And really the thinking into results and doing the program with you is made all the difference in my life. I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
And it's been quite a ride. It's just been a crazy, fun, awesome year.
It has been. It has been. I just loved every experience working with you, Holly. And the reason why, I knew from that first conversation that you were ready, and I knew that you know, you were going to achieve great things. It was just a matter of moving through your blocks, moving through your paradigms. And I knew that, you know, through, you know, my program, that we could get through that. And I could not be any prouder, you know, less than a year away, and you've written 2 incredible books. You're onto your 3rd book. You're opening up healing centers. You know, you're doing your PhD in quantum at the Quantum University. And I want to talk more about that. I want to talk about your books too. You know how much I love quantum physics, and, you know, people have hobbies where they're doing all sorts of adventurous things. And my hobby is learning about quantum physics. So I'm so excited about talking to you about that. And then, you know, more recently, one of the things that you thought, and I remember you saying to me over and over again, you know, relationships and me, that's a no-no. I know that I will never ever do that. That's not for me. That's it. You don't understand, Suzana, how many times
I got kind of hostile too about it. I really
understand, Suzana. I'm horrible at doing the American accent, but you don't understand. That's just not an area that I'm going to go into, you know. And now you're, you know, with your beautiful soulmate and beautiful man, just incredible, absolutely incredible.
I think that one was one that probably a lot of people believed for me when I didn't even believe it to want it. And that was just something that it naturally happened. And the only thing that I can really say is that somebody, maybe you, was holding space for me in the quantum realm, that could happen, because I did get to the point that I believed for it. And then as soon as I got to where I believed for it, it just happened. And it's such a great story. And the things that we want to create, the things that we want to be open for, the way they show up in our lives is, you cannot make that stuff up. I mean, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, right? The quantum realm is such a great story writer.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so, you know, being in that space of really wanting to move into authentically who we're created to be, and then the way it shows up, because it's moving towards you, like you talk about. As soon as we move toward it, it's coming toward us, and it's this beautiful collision.
Yeah.
And it's so fun sharing that with you and with everybody in the group, because we're kind of all doing the same thing together, and it's been incredible. But I know that that was the biggest miracle of the year,
Yeah.
was the relationship. I
And
did not ever think that would happen in my life.
you could have bet your life on it that it wasn't happening. It was just, yeah. But you're right, and that's one thing that I do for my clients. You know, this is not just a job or just a business for me. I see their blocks, I see their potential, and I carry that for them. And I did see you, you know, and this is just the very, very beginning. This is just the very beginning, and the vision that we held together when we first met, about, you know, your purpose. You know, what you've achieved in the past year is just the very, very scratch of that, and I'm so excited to experience and see what comes. So yeah. So, but tell us a little bit about your books, and I also want to hear about, you know, the Quantum University, because that excites me. Tell us about. Let's start with Welcome Home: Evicting the Ghosts of Anxiety. So you're someone, Holly, that has experienced anxiety in your life, and this is why your book is incredible, because it's written by someone that has, you know, experienced quite significant anxiety, and it's and the way it's written, it's almost like a story, luring you into the next room and the next room of the house, and it's just a beautiful way to lead the reader into their own healing. So tell us a little bit about your experience with anxiety, what made you write the book, and what could readers expect from your incredible book?
So Welcome Home: Evicting the Ghosts of Anxiety is really, that book is my life. That book is me. And I grew up in a family that was very much in the public eye. My parents were very successful, and there was a lot of expectation. And I'm really grateful for everything that I learned growing up in that family. It was an incredible experience. That said, it was really overwhelming for me as a child. And I would have, you know, anxiety, but I couldn't show it. So there was this whole feeling for me where I felt like that being sensitive was actually a weakness, and I needed to hide that. And as I got older and moved into different phases of my life, I developed ways to appear confident and to really be successful. We sort of create versions of ourselves, and the version of myself that I hid behind when I had anxiety, I would just look really calm and like I had it all together and appear very confident. And that version of myself was incredibly successful. And that said, there was this really sort of experience that I was having with life that I didn't feel like it was okay to talk to people about. And so I had to struggle, and it made things hard for me. It made it hard for me to really enjoy my life and to enjoy my success.
Yes.
Because when you have anxiety, money isn't going to fix it. Success isn't going to fix it. It'll just cause more anxiety, because then you worry that you're going to lose all the things that you gained.
That's right.
So I went through a series of different people that I worked with, and protocols that I went through, and holistic doctors that I worked with, to get to the root of really being able to be me and to love being me. And Welcome Home is everything that I learned from the time that I was in my 20s until now. It's 20 years worth of everything that I learned and what actually worked. And it's being able to lead the reader through a thought process where they can see their sensitivity as a gift, because it is.
Yes.
And if we have gifts, if we're empathic, or we pick up on things, we're intuitive, we're sensitive, if you don't manage the gift can be too much for you. And so understanding your gift and being able to use it. And then even, you know, when you're kind of like more psychic, more aware, and you pick up on other people's things, it can be really difficult to know what's me and what's not me.
Yeah.
So Welcome Home has a lot of me, not me, right? It's your house of you. And in each room, there are things that belong in that room of your life. And so we want you to fill that room with you so that there's no room for things that don't belong. And just being able to really have the experience of appreciating yourself.
Yeah.
It's been
How
incredible for me to write that book and to actually put it out there. It's I feel like it gives other people permission to be who they were created to be. And that's my hope for Welcome Home.
and that's what I loved about, you know, reading your manuscript. So, you know, coming from someone, I love it that you reframed it into the gift. And by seeing it as a gift, that already starts to alleviate some of the anxiety and helps you understand yourself a lot more. And, you know, I have also experienced anxiety and clinical depression. I think the first bout of anxiety was as a child, you know, being severely bullied. And then, you know, some of this bullying continued in different kind of experiences from different people until about the age of 17. And then there was some severe stuff that happened at the age of 17. So, you know, I grew up, and even as an adult, I had social anxiety and clinical depression for many years on and off, and it would affect my work life, and it will affect, you know, many aspects of my life. And sometimes, like you know, I didn't even realize I had anxiety. It was one occasion I went to the doctor, and, you know, I had heart palpitations, and, you know, she checked me out and said, "No, everything's okay. I think you've got you've got anxiety, but you internalize it." You know, so this was a lifelong struggle before I came to the work that I'm doing now, and I just feel like it's alleviated. But I wish I had your book back then, because it would help me a lot. Just the fact that you reframed it, and you know, you in your book, you refer to it as a gift. You refer to, you know, sensitive people like I was, extremely and still am. You know, I saw that as a weakness. And as I started to get senior positions at work, more and more senior, I would label myself and my own anxiety, and was afraid of sharing what I was experiencing with people. And I'd also label my own sensitivities as someone that was not competent and not able to, not worthy on some level for the roles that I had, and I'd hide it. But had I read your book, it would allow me to see that it was a gift. It would allow me to see and identify my own strengths and how to use, you know, my own sensitivities and anxiety to benefit myself, my work, and life itself. So I wish I did have your book back then, Holly. However, I'm so grateful that the world has your book right now, because just your reframing is so powerful. So so much gratitude for you, and, you know, for you having written that book and sharing your experience in that way.
Well, actually, you were, besides my editor, you were one of the first people to read my book.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I really appreciate you, you know, reading Welcome Home and giving me your feedback, and really giving me the confidence to step out and publish it, you know, under my name, and really own my work and my story, and to, because my intention is to help people. And I wrote Welcome Home to myself, age 20. She
Wow.
was my audience. And I thought, you know, what was the time in my life that I needed this the most? And I just imagined that I was writing that for me when I was younger. Had I had that information, it would have been really great if I would have had it when I was younger. So I hope that, you know, people can really appreciate being able to not feel like sensitivity is a weakness, because it's really a beautiful thing. Actually, it's a strength.
It's a strength, and the world needs more of it, but the world needs us to actually embrace our sensitivity and value it ourselves first and foremost. Because, you know, in my experience, I would tear myself down. I would punish myself for being the way that I was. Yet You know, it's such a powerful, powerful thing to have, you know. And I bring it into my work now. And that's why, you know, I'm great at what I do, because I bring that into my work. So again, you know, the world, anyone out there that is experiencing anxiety, please, 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 please get your hands on Holly's book, Welcome Home, Evicting the Ghost of Anxiety. You will see it as a gift, and you'll get so much out of it. But Holly, you will give us the link so we can put it in this Facebook Live.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Put it, or you just put it in the comments yourself, so that, you know, people that are watching this, that know someone or that may need to read your book themselves, yeah, they could purchase a copy. I'd highly recommend it to anyone. So Holly, tell us about Moving On, the Art of Transition. We've got so much to talk about.
Moving On, the Art of Transition was written with, I went to integrative nutrition to get my health coaching certification. And it's a year-long program. IIN, the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, is incredible. People ask me about it all the time. I highly recommend it. It was great. Yes. And so we had to pick an accountability partner, and Dorothy Mullet, I looked at her profile and I really wanted her to pick me. She's just this beautiful Mennonite woman, and she's a cancer survivor, and I wanted her to pick me so bad, and she did. So we did school together, and we became really good friends. And what I found was that where I was in my life at the time, you know, my mother had died. There were a lot of things in my life that had fallen apart, and it was sort of like my life fell apart in slow motion. It was like one thing at a time. And everything that I would sort of try to prop myself up on for my self-worth would be taken from me. And it felt like a total loss. And I was really confused, and I was trying to make it out of that place in my life. And Dorothy was going through something very similar, but it was completely different. And we started to work together to coach each other through this. And when we got to the other side, where we were reinventing ourselves and we were literally creating lives that we loved, after I finished Welcome Home, Evicting the Ghost of Anxiety, I said, you know, I want my next book to be called Moving On, the Art of Transition, because when we have a cataclysmic event or something happens, it can feel like that you're being punished, and it can feel like that your whole life falls apart. But it's actually, Teresa Avila wrote about it. It's called The Dark Night of the Soul.
Oh, yes.
And it's an initiation. It's an answer to our request to be who we were created to be. And so there has to be a removal. There has to be, it's almost like you're taken down to the studs so that the foundation is strong. And from that place, we rebuild. And when we rebuild, it's built right, and it's a life that you love. And it's really that to a request. But of course, when we make that request, we never think that our whole life's going to get blown sky high. So it's easy to get stuck in transition. It's easy. Some people can spend their whole lives there. If somebody's grieving the loss of someone who died, you know, in Dorothy's case, she was moving out of something that she didn't want. So it was really easy for her to let go and move on. For me, I actually had a life that I loved. I loved my life. I had a farm. I had dairy cows. I loved my life. I couldn't imagine myself doing anything else. So I had to grieve, and I really didn't know how to grieve. I didn't know anything about grieving. It didn't sound like anything that I wanted to do. So, you know, I'm really very like, let's do this and let's move forward. I try to be really positive and like run into the future. And it was like I was on a rubber band. I kept getting pulled back. And Dorothy is very patient. She's very good at waiting and thinking and moving slow. And so I helped motivate Dorothy, and she helped slow me down. And Moving On, the Art of Transition is our story. It's everything that we went through, and different conditions, but there was a theme.
Yeah, and that's what really stood out to me too. So when we were on that three-way coaching call, when I was with you and Dorothy on that call, you were actually, I think you had just finished the book, or it was before the book was completed. You know, here were two women, and you were so different in so many ways, different backgrounds, different, cultures and traditions, and ways of seeing the world, different ages, and really different personalities. She is such a calm and quiet but very present and very powerful soul. And your personality is right, let's go get him, let's get this done, come on. And it just worked so beautifully. Just to see you, both on that call and getting coaching, you can just see how incredible, this creation that you both made in the book, out of the book, was. And from both of your experiences, you both healed yourselves from illness, from different types of illnesses. There is a real gift that was that had come out of this union, and the co-authoring of Moving On, the Art of Transition. So
yeah, we love that. That's a tribute to everything that happened in our lives, and we just want to shave some time off for some people and help them have a guide. And I love Dorothy. She has so much grace.
She is so gracious. Yes, so graceful.
She's so sweet.
Yeah, just a beautiful, beautiful soul. And and another masterpiece that you both created. So congratulations. And you're going to be helping so many people through that book. And so there's so much to talk about, and I feel like I'm just moving on from one thing to another. And you and I can talk all day and all night. And I want to ask, I want to talk about your books. I want to go so deeply into your books. But I think, each element of what you're achieving and what you're doing is, a separate Facebook Live. Maybe that's what we can do. We can do the Holly Hudspeth series on the Bob Proctor Millionaire Roundtable. Because to do, any of your achievements, justice, or the respect that they deserve, I think we need at least an hour on each. But maybe that's an idea, the Holly Hudspeth series in the Bob Proctor Millionaire Roundtable group. Anyone that's listening to this that would like that, let us know, because, great things come out of ideas that just pop up. But tell us about the Quantum University and the quantum natural medicine. That is just so exciting. And I can't wait to hear a bit more about that.
Yes, I love Quantum University. I have a lot of people who are really curious about Quantum University. There's a lot of natural doctors and chiropractors, and they always want to hear about quantum. It's a beautiful, amazing program. And if you love healing and you love quantum physics, it's your school. It's so out of the box. There are so many different healing modalities that we study. And then in the PhD program, you get to do your own research, so that really what we're looking at is like, whether it's like, acupuncture or Chinese natural medicine or all the different, aromatherapy, you name it, any of these ancient healing methods, you're using it in the quantum realm. And then you're able to actually have things that can measure what these things really do in the human body, so that it's not just anecdotal. It's not just, oh, your grandmother's remedy, right? It's using these things with the right mindset. And how does intention affect your outcome? The Quantum University Library is my favorite playground. It's all the studies that have been done with the Quantum University students, and it just really opens you to the potential of what's really going on. So I highly recommend Quantum University. I think everybody should just go and look at the website, and if you feel led, you just should jump in, because this is the future of medicine. I really do believe that, and it's fun, and it's a solution. We need solutions. We need creative solutions, and you can be part of that solution, and it feels really good.
Absolutely. The power is within, isn't it? It's opening up your awareness to who you truly are, and how you know how things really function, how the universe functions, how quantum physics functions. I mean, you know, we gain so much just by learning and becoming aware of more, you know, of those concepts and you know the science in quantum physics. So I've been talking to the Bob Proctor Millionaire Roundtable members, particularly in the past week, about quantum leaps. And quantum leaps are a big part of my coaching. They excite me. That is our you know, I believe that is our innate way of functioning, but we are so programmed to take small steps and have small boring goals, and to be realistic when you know, and to put limits on ourselves. But in our natural state is to actually have quantum leaps. And I love it when my clients apply my coaching and have quantum leaps, and you've had quite a few, as you've shared in this call. How would you define a quantum leap? And what's your experience of a quantum leap?
Okay, so I'm really into quantum leaping. I've done it a lot in my life, and I wasn't great at like my landings. You actually really helped me master the landing on the quantum leap. So I was really great at launching, but then sometimes my steering was off. And you really helped me identify what it was that was going on in me that was causing that, because it was really obvious to you.
Yeah.
Which is the other reason why we have to work with other people. We do have a blind spot.
Yeah.
And so your coach, you know, in this case, Suzana, is really great at pointing out my blind spot so that my focus is really on more where I want to go, not what I want to avoid, which is really important. If you're going to quantum leap, where you're focusing is vital. And I really think of a quantum leap as, you know, there really isn't time. I mean, we have time so that we know when to show up for lunch and we can mark things, but time, if you're doing something that you love, 5 minutes is different than if you have 5 minutes at the dentist.
Absolutely.
So time is like this, you know, it's flexible and it's kind of relative. And I think of a quantum leap as the absence of time. It's, you're just skipping into the future maybe a little faster without having to hang out in that interim period that's a little dull, you know, and sort of tedious. You can just skip forward in the timeline, like on a VCR or on your YouTube or whatever, when you just skip forward. You're skipping forward in the movie.
Yeah,
and it's very possible. And it's a lot of fun. It's actually a lot of fun. And the first time that it happens, it's like, wow, you know, because you don't realize that you've done it until you've already done it. But
time and space doesn't exist, you know, that's an illusion. So science shows that time and space doesn't exist, and there are multiple dimensions, and everything that you want has already been created. God, I love these conversations. So it's a matter of, you know, exactly what you said. So yeah, it's, you know, speeding up what we call time. And I love the example of when you do something you love, time just goes by in a flash. But if you ever get to the dentist, it's funny that you mentioned the dentist, because I was thinking as I was driving to my parents' place today that I really need to get to the dentist, and I always avoid it. But if it is the dentist, you know, 5 minutes feels like 3 hours. So yeah, for sure.
So what kind of energetic state we're in is going to determine time, how fast, how slow, and it also determines what we say to ourselves about life, and it's a whole picture, right? Our self-talk, what we believe, what we're looking for. So I really believe we are quantum leaping all the time, whether we realize it or not. Some people are quantum leaping into what they don't want, and they don't realize it, and they call that bad luck. But it's really an energy and a belief and a focal point. So being able to do that intentionally, using your focus and your energy, and you know, as you say all the time, we have the power of the universe flowing to us and through us.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
being able to direct that, it being operating in the field of what's possible makes life so much more fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So much more fun. So much more. You know, it brings the magic, doesn't it? It's
It
just,
does.
oh my gosh, it's just so much more fun. And I love that, you know, so we're quantum leaping all the time, but it might not be towards something that we really want. And, you know, we are so, and my purpose in life, my absolute purpose is to wake everyone up, you know, which is similar to your purpose too. And you know, we need awakening in this world. We have been sleeping, we've been unconscious for far too long. We've been unconscious to our natural state. We've been unconscious to our own innate power. You know, quantum leaps, we're quantum leaping all the time. But if you're not happy with your life, don't blame external situations. Don't blame what's going on outside of you. Everything is happening from inside. And, you know, if you're not going to invest in yourself, you cannot expect to change. I'm sorry, that might be uncomfortable. You might not like hearing that. You might, you know, even try to argue that, but it's the absolute truth. If you don't, if you feel that you can't afford to invest in yourself, both time and money, you do not deserve to win. You're not going to win because you're going to be constantly thinking the way that you've always been thinking. You're not going to become aware of who you truly are. Holly, what else would you like to share with this incredible group of people? If you could say anything to them, you know, what would that be?
I would say that, you know, all things are possible, right? And there's all this change going on right now. There's a lot. And it's really starting to pick up. There's a lot of different things, and it's chaos and it's confusion. And the quantum law applies. So focus on what you want and only on what you want. And I think of the mind can be like a dog. And if your dog's all over the place and you're trying to walk him and he's running around and his leash is tangling up you need to make your dog sit.
Absolutely.
A good obedience trained dog is an amazing thing.
Yes.
So, you know, remember, you're the head and not the tail. This is an operating system. Okay. And whatever we think about, your brain is actually an antenna. So there's a lot of research. Joe Dispenza talks about it. Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about it. Your brain is actually, there's no memory stored in your brain. It's attaching to a field.
Yeah.
And Bob Proctor talks about that. Okay.
Yeah.
So what we think about is tuning us in to the field, and whatever station you're on, it has a whole set of thoughts that go with it. So being able to understand that is really empowering. Instead of like fighting with your brain like a dog that won't sit down over, why am I thinking that? I can't believe I thought that. And then it's really easy to start beating up on yourself because of the thoughts that you're having. And it can create this really kind of gnarly spiral mentally. That's not pleasant. So understanding this is an antenna and you can tune it to whatever station you want.
Absolutely.
And just understanding that, and then having spiritual authority over what we think about. And just, even when thoughts try to come in, it's like, you just have to tell your brain, like, we're not going to think about that right now. Right. And I would highly, highly, highly recommend working with Suzana, especially if you have a really strong personality and you have really big goals. Because I have a lot of energy, and when that energy is going in the wrong direction, it can be like a bull in a china shop. And even though that's not what I want to be doing, you know, I can really freak out good. Suzana has seen it. I can get something in my head and I'm like off and running like a zebra. It's like, you know, Suzana is very good at being able to say the right thing to literally cause you to stop and like get it. And I love that. I love that she can tell you the truth in a way that's empowering, you know, in a way that's self-loving. It's great.
Yeah.
So having somebody that can bring that kind of correction, because we have energy and it's always going out, we're always getting a return. So having somebody that can teach you how to work with your energy in a way that's going to actually get you what you want without causing you to feel bad when you miss the mark, right? Guilt is not helpful. Susanna's great. She's great at really pulling out the flavor of who you are and helping you see yourself. And I absolutely love you. I tell people all the time, you have been one of those people that has made the biggest difference in my life. And it's been so fun watching my dream life happen with you and being able to celebrate that together. It's really special.
And just a privilege and an honor to me to have experienced just what you have done in less than a year. And I knew that you were going to achieve that. You just needed the right tools. But also, thank you so much for those words about me. Thank you so much. You know that my work is my purpose. It's my life. I just love it. So it's just, I'm so honored to hear those words about your experience of working with me. But you were also very coachable. You know, if I would say, you know, Holly, shut up, you would listen, right? You know, so it takes two. So it takes a great coach, but it takes someone that will invest money in themselves, will listen, and is very coachable, and will face their fears and go. So thank you so much. I can talk to you all day, all night. I look forward to experiencing the next phase of your incredible life and your incredible achievements. Keep being who you are, because your heart and your passion will, it's already soaring, but you've got such a great purpose ahead of you. And you know, more and more people are going to learn about you, from you, and will heal their lives. But also I'm just so excited about the next phase and what's waiting for you, Holly Hudspeth. Thank you so much. Thank you for waiting up for us in Florida. You know, it's very late over there, and I look forward to seeing you on our lesson on Monday.
Thank you, Susanna. And to everybody out there, there's so much uncertainty. But the one thing that you can be certain of is if you put your time and energy and your money on you, nobody's going to care about your life the way you do. So put it back to you, because you being who you were created to be is the answer. That is the answer. So put that investment back in yourself. You won't be sorry. You're not going to let yourself down. It's going to be great, and it's worth it.
Yeah, you heard it, guys. Jump on board, say yes, and let's get going. Holly Hudspeth, you are a superstar. You are one incredible woman. You know, just one incredible person all around, incredible mum, incredible entrepreneur, incredible author, and such an honor to have you here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Susanna.